Hey there, hey there. Thank you for the thumbs up. Whoever gave the thumbs up, I appreciate you. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. How are you guys on this Taco Tuesday? Taco Tuesday, terrific Tuesday. Taco soup. Hey Betty. How are you, Betty? Happy Tuesday. I hope you're doing well. I hope everyone is doing well. If you happen to come across this live while I'm live or the live replay, I hope you've had a wonderful Tuesday today. A wonderful Tuesday today. Well, tomorrow is Wednesday. And of course, once Wednesday hits, the rest of the week kind of just flies by. Like we're on this fast merry-go-round of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Or should I start off? I should start off with Sunday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's good. Glad to hear that, Betty. Glad to hear that. I'm doing good. I gotta repot some plants. It's not. It's very relaxing. I don't know why I said because I guess it seems like it's when you say it out loud, or even when I think about it, it kind of seems like a job, a chore, a task. Well, it is a task, but it just seems more like a chore task. Chore slash task. Okay. But it's really, really relaxing. It's really, really relaxing. To me, it is. Repotting plants is really relaxing. It's not hard at all. Before I started doing it, I always thought like, I can't take care of these plants because it's gonna come a time where you have to repot them. And I didn't think I would be good at that. And sometimes, people will say they don't have a green thumb. And sometimes they don't. But it's funny how sometimes people are good at keeping plants alive and pretty and well, and they're not good with the garden. Like, when it comes to a garden, I don't have a green thumb. I let my family handle that. But when it comes to plants, surprisingly, I've been able to do good with my plants. So, sometimes when you kind of neglect them or you kind of, not intentionally, just running around, you're going to do it. You don't do it. All it takes is a couple of minutes to go in there and water those plants, right? But again, sometimes it can be like a chore. And I'll say a task. To me, a chore is something that you really, I don't know. And that's not even necessarily true for chores. Some chores you enjoy. Some people enjoy still hand washing dishes, mopping. Some people enjoy cleaning up. And really cleaning up, you're just kind of, you're doing your chores. A task is something that, something you probably sometimes need to do, maybe not need to, but want to do. And it's not, to me, I would, let's see, a task may not be as strenuous as a chore. But then again, you never know, depending on what the task is. Depending on what the task is, it can be. I guess they're pretty much synonymous. I always just think of chore as like work. Work that you don't want to do. But again, that's not necessarily true. I know some people truly enjoy doing their chores. Like they love cleaning up. They love doing the dishes. They love doing the clothes. Some people love washing the clothes and drying the clothes, but they don't like folding clothes. Hey there, Georgia girl. How you doing, girl? What you doing this week, Georgia girl? So we got traffic, y'all. Y'all know when we got traffic, I say we got action. So when we got action, we have to stand still, but we keep moving, right? So we stop, but we keep moving. So we keep on doing the task at hand, right? The tasks. Tasks are sometimes more things that you more want to do, I guess. But again, it could be either way. They're synonymous. But I do like certain chores. I do like washing dishes by hand. I don't want to use a dishwasher, okay? I don't. Because sometimes the dishwasher doesn't do the job the way you mentally want the job to be done. Like, I don't want anything left on, anything at all stuck on. And sometimes when you put the dishes in the dishwasher, look, if I load the dishwasher, I want them to come out clean, all the way clean. Pop it in, streaming. Pop it. Okay, all right, I got you. I want the dishes to be clean, right? Clean, clean, clean. So I might as well do them by hand. If I do them by hand, I'm making sure that they're clean. So again, some chores are fun, relaxing. Some chores are just really, 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 you know, as far as your mental goes, they're mentally relaxing. They're mentally relaxing. Okay, thanks, George girl. I'm gonna take that off because you know how people do. You don't want them not at the beginning or the middle. You don't want them just maybe leaving because people do that. People, like, you never see how many people are coming through your chat. You only see the people that they show on the YouTube live feed, but other people will come through. And when you make announcements like that, you never know. They might just leave. They might keep moving. So whenever you do your lives, y'all, make sure that you make your announcements at certain times. Like I always tell you guys to check out my moderators, especially, you know, because your moderators help you out. And anybody in the chat that has a channel, I always tell you guys to check them out, right? But like as far as if they're live streaming, I put that in toward the end. Because it's enough that you can, sometimes you'll get a lot of people to come through, and sometimes you get one person here, one person there. So if you're live, it's enough that you got to try to get somebody to stay around. Let me see. Whole Foods this week on no processed foods. Been busy with my mom. She wasn't feeling good. Not been. Is she? Let me stop for a second. Busy with my mom. Oh, you just live? Okay. You mean a premiere? Oh, okay, I got you. I got a premiere set for later too. I got you. Yeah, I don't mind y'all telling people that you're live, but if it's like at the end of the live, if it's at the end of the live, because anybody who knows, sometimes you'll get like 12 people to just hang out with you for a little while. Then sometimes you get 1, 2, then you'll get 15. Some days you'll have nobody. So you try to hang on to what you got, at least while you're on there. But you always encourage people to support the people who support you. So other content creators, especially when you're trying to grow, because a lot of you guys will go into other people's chat and ask for your link to be dropped and stuff like that. And then as soon as they do it, you leave or they never see you again. Don't do that. Don't do that. We don't really usually have a problem with that. There's usually somebody who doesn't know you that does that kind of stuff. They really don't know you, and they're trying to figure out if you're like a grow channel. She has a cold. Okay, chest X-rays. Okay. No fever, just cough. Okay. Rebuke anything else. Okay. Rebuke anything else. Let her get some cough medicine, some a humidifier, something like that. Keep that going. Keep that vapor rub. Y'all know we talk about those old remedies all the time over here. Put that vapor rub on the soles of those feet, on the palms of those hands. Put you some gloves on, right? Put them on the palms of the hands. Put you some gloves on. And however your cough is, hopefully it will get better. If it's a productive cough, get you an expectorant to get it up out of there, okay? If it's non-productive, it's just kind of like a dry cough, take your medicine as prescribed, because over here we don't what? Professionally, medically, or clinically assess, diagnose, right? Treat, evaluate, or prescribe. We just drop nuggets, just old school nuggets, sometimes new school nuggets, trying to help each other out. We're just trying to help each other out, all right? And some of those nuggets, hopefully you can take them and, hopefully they will work for you or someone that you love, okay? So some of those things that we talk about, they're just old school remedies. And again, some of them are new school remedies, like the neti pots, the things like that to kind of keep your nasal area from being so congested. We've got a lot of new things out. The nasal saline sprays, all it is saline. All it is saline, basically like salt water. Kind of mist it up there. If you had those problems, we're not telling you to do that. We're just letting you know some things that are out there and available. So I hope she feels much, much better soon, Georgia girl. I hope it clears up. I hope it clears up. It's good that there's no fever. Good that there's no fever. No fever is always a good sign. Especially when it relates to anybody. But especially babies and elderly. Like I said, anybody, any age, no fever is a good sign. So hopefully she'll get over that quickly. Because the holidays are coming. And we know she wants to feel good. And we know you want her to feel good. She's 86. Oh, that's a blessing. She's 86 years old. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. My oldest auntie is 94. Yep, my oldest auntie is 94. And they got those old jeans, the old school jeans. 80s and 90s. 100. Quite a few people are 100 and over. Prayers to Dick Cheney's family. Former Vice President Dick Cheney passed away yesterday. They talked about it today. They've been talking about it on the news. So, he was, he held a lot of roles. I think he was the Secretary of Defense under the first President Bush, Dad Bush, and under George W. Bush, he was the Vice President. Now, there's a lot of controversy around that administration as far as the war went. But let me tell you, he was blessed. I remember he had a transplant, and he has, that was a long time ago. So prayers to his family, to his wife and his children. His most popular or most known daughter most likely is Miss Liz Cheney. Prayers to them. And Republican or not, you have empathy for people. And what I will say about Vice President Dick Cheney, he was President Bush's VP, right? So if you were a Democrat or maybe even some Republicans, maybe you didn't click with him, okay? But the one thing I can click with that he did, well, he realized that under this regime that we're under right now, that was not a good man. He realized that, he acknowledged that, and he endorsed former Vice President Kamala Harris. He did. So You can have differing political views, okay? Your political views can differ. But as a human being, you should be able to have empathy and sympathy for other people. Now, I'm not talking about your enemies or people you have issues with, even then, most people have a degree of sympathy and empathy for people. But people question the legality of the war back then. And some people say some of the things that former President Bush did kind of set up the tone for some of the things going on now. Well, let me tell you something. Bush did some things that I don't agree with. But Bush ain't did nothing like this here bozo. He ain't did nothing. A lot of them do things we don't agree with, no matter the party. So, yes, he did know that democracy was about to crumble. He knew that. And along with his daughter, he did support Vice President Kamala Harris. So, you may not like him for that. I love him for that. I love him for that. And, I cannot wait to see the results of the gubernatorial race in Virginia. I cannot wait to see if California goes ahead and passes that Proposition 50, I think it's called. Since you got red states want to, maneuver and mess things up so that they can try to rig Congress next year. Governor Gavin Newsom, I think you're looking at victory today. I think you're looking at victory today. The people who were in line in California to vote today, y'all, if that bill doesn't pass, that's some bull crap, okay? And if they want to fight it, they didn't fight it when Texas did it. They give him a better chance of keeping the House and Senate. So don't fight it when California does it. There were people in line on the news saying they did not vote in the presidential election. But that was a mistake. But they should have voted in. So they're doing their part, the only part that they can, by voting now. So hopefully we get some of those seats over there in California and make it bluer than it already is. I'm liking it. It's not, you know how sometimes, Georgia girl, when the time changes, you be like, oh my gosh, it feels so late. And it kind of throws you a little bit. I always adjust to it well. It's like, what throws me is like when you get off work or when you got somewhere you need to be and you walk out the house and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot it gets dark earlier. I forgot it's getting dark earlier. So that it kind of throws me like that. But some people, their internal clock, some people, their internal clock gets a little disrupted by it. It's like their sleep pattern, even though it's just an hour that we fall back. It's like in the spring, it's just an hour that we spring forward. That there's something about changing the time. And I think that's why a lot of people want to try to get away from it. But, that takes an act of Congress, so they haven't done it yet. There's something about it that makes some people's internal clock, it disrupts their internal clock, their circadian rhythm. Something about the changing of time does that. So I can say it has before. Now, it has before made me feel like, oh my gosh, like it's so dark. And then, it makes you want to kind of get sleepy. It makes you get sleepy a little bit earlier. Some people love it. They say it doesn't make them sleepy. They just love nighttime. It's getting dark around 5:30 or so. They love it. They say they just, they love it. I prefer daylight savings time when the days or daylight is longer. But I really do. I like it. Because it makes you want to go ahead and get home, get cozy, chill out, and relax. That sun sets earlier. First dark comes earlier. And you just have a time to just kind of chill and relax. Like I said, it will kind of throw you off though, because you'll be in the house thinking it's like 7:30. And it's like 6 o'clock. It's like 6 o'clock. Thank you guys for the thumbs up. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here because you could have been anywhere else. I know you're multitasking. We have a lot of stuff to do, y'all. We be having a lot of stuff to do. So if you are listening or if you just scroll by for a few seconds or minutes, the first part of the live, the middle part of the live, or the end of the live, I appreciate you. And I hope that you guys have gotten in some cardiovascular exercise today, right? I hope you've gotten in some resistance exercising, some weights, all right? If you don't have any weights, go in there and get you a can of corn, cans of corn, cans of green beans, and just lift. 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 Just lift. Use that to lift. Work those arms out. Get those arms toned. Listen, when you hold your arm up, ladies, when we hold our arms up to wave, wave at the little babies, wave at you when you're leaving your family house or whatever over the holidays. When you got on a sweater, they probably can't tell. But you know when you hold your arms up to wave and that little flare be like, whoop, 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 whoop. Get you some weights, little 5-pound weights, and just do you some arm curls. Some arm curls. Do you some arm curls, okay? Now, I am not going to tell you it's going to prevent it all, but it'll tone it up a little bit. It'll tone it up a little bit. And listen, if you want to save money and you don't have any weights, get you some 5-pound bags of flour or sugar. You already got that in your house, right? Get you, again, a little can of corn, can of green beans, can of something. Beans, a bag, get you a pound bag of pinto beans or lima beans. Use those as your weights. They don't need to be, you're not trying to look like Hercules or the Incredible Hulk, right? They don't have to be really, really heavy, right? Get in there and do some of those boom squats, those squats, right? If you can't go low, go as low as you can go, all right? You can't do deep squats, that's all right. You don't need to be doing deep squats. If you got ankle problems, knee problems, hip problems, don't be down there trying to do no deep squats. Modify. What do we say over here? M&Ms. Modification and moderation, right? Modify, meaning change it up, change it up, change it up, okay? So if you can't do that deep squat, boom, boom, do a mini squat. Do a mini squat. Or hold on to a chair and do a squat. Hold on to the wall and do a squat, okay? Hey, Stephen, how are you? Hello, hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Hey, Miss Pride, happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you, Stephen. Stephen, I'm about to hit the gym. Have you already been to the gym today? Have you been to the gym today? Now, that's one thing that, like it's dark now, but I'm still about to hit that gym because it's still early. It's still early. So it's almost like I get 3 workouts in sometimes because we work out in the mornings before getting out to work, right? Most days we come on here and we get some cardio in. We do some walking, which, you walk, grace of God, you're blessed to walk, you just walk, right? We get some walking and talking in. Sometimes we just walk in silence, but we move. The important thing is that we keep moving. You don't have to talk, right? The important component is the walking. Keep moving. Keep moving. Be consistent and be persistent about being consistent, okay? And remember, those exercises, get you some resistance weight training in, all right? Not just cardio. If you get that weight training in, it'll allow your body to do your cardio for longer periods of time. Get those muscles stronger, okay? Get those muscles toned, get them stronger. And then you do your cardio a little bit longer. I'm good. How are you? Yes, ma'am. When AA. Okay, back day. Gym is a must. Tonight, arms, chest, back, and abs. Arms, chest, back, and abs. So you have back day. Back day. When you set these days up, well, at least for me, I get in the gym, Stephen, and that's how I am at home. I don't go to the gym often because I got so much equipment at home. But sometimes I just want to get out and get to the gym. And especially like now, it's getting dark earlier. So I worked out this morning, but I'm home. I'm going to end the walk soon. I might as well go ahead and hit the gym for a few minutes. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do arms, biceps and triceps, okay? All right? Biceps and triceps. Of course, shoulders, chest, back. And I might hold off on abs because I did abs this morning. I might hold off on abs because I did do abs this morning. Abs is, for some people, abs is kind of like walking. You can do that every day. I know you're supposed to give your muscles a break, you know, get some of that waste and that lactic acid out of there. But abs, that core, as long as you don't overdo it, you can do some of that. Some people can do that every day. But even I take a break. You know, I take a break on my abs. I don't do them every day. I have my times where I might do them every day for a month. And then the next month, I might do them 3 times a week. Gym is good, motivational, always good people. Yes, yes. The people who are in the gym for the right reason, they aren't thinking about what you're doing. They're focused on what they're doing. And when you're in there with them, you can become very motivated just by watching them be so dedicated and motivated to what they're trying to do. It's all about everybody trying to improve your fitness level, right? Sometimes you get athletes that come in the gym while you're there. And you know you probably won't end up looking like the athletes, but hey, it's still motivation. It's motivation just seeing them there because you get you get the thought that, you know what, even athletes come and work out. Even they want to do good, you know, want to feel good. Don't worry about how you look. If you're in there consistently and you're doing it like you're supposed to be, the goal is to feel good. And if you feel good and you're getting the work in, you're going to look good. The looking good will come. The looking good will come. Yep, they're looking good. It will come. Yes, it's very much so always a good place. I'm glad you're back, Stephen, because I think the last time you were here, I don't know, we were talking about something. I don't know who else was in here. We might have been talking about politics or something. And you was like, you were going to go. And I was like, Stephen, you don't have to agree with us. You don't have to agree with us. That's what's wrong with the world right now. So many of us, we don't agree. And so that might not be the reason you left. I was just hoping it wasn't the reason that you left. Because I got plenty of people I know, I work with. We don't agree. And then sometimes we agree on 90% of the things, but we don't agree on 10% of things, right? And sometimes those are the things we go at it about. But at the end of the day, they're still family. Those are still my friends. Because at the end of the day, the people who I know, they have a conscience and they have empathy and they don't want bad for anybody. Sometimes it's just the argument comes in how we're to accomplish things. But you know, you got some people, you cannot debate with them, you cannot express what you feel with them because they are cruel. Like, they are cruel, they're crucial. And if you don't believe what they believe, how they believe, they want no parts of you. They just want to browbeat you, you know? They want to browbeat you. So I never want to do that to anybody unless they're saying something that's just totally cruel, evil, unusual, crazy, and wild. So I was like, this Stephen Lee, because we were talking about politics. That's one reason I don't talk about politics a lot. But again, I think that's something that we should talk about. The only people who can't handle a conversation about politics are usually the ones who are being more aggressive. Usually those are the ones who tend to actually not want the best for people in general. When you get overly aggressive, it makes it come off as if you don't want the best for people. Because at the end of the day, the politicians in D.C., the politicians at your state capital, the politicians on your local level, right? They're not going to get it right. I don't care what party they're in. They're not going to get it right all of the time, right? They're not going to get it right all of the time. So even people that I support, that I vote for, they get some things off too, right? They don't get everything right. They don't. But I try to lean with the side that's most empathetic towards people, the most sympathetic towards people, and who wants the most for everybody, without being hypocritical, judgmental, or stereotypical. Now, when some of those stereotypical comments are, "Hey, Robert, welcome in, happy, I came on early yesterday, Robert." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, Robert, if he comes on, he probably thinking I'll be on later." I think I told you, in case you come on, happy birthday, because I was able to go earlier. I was off and I was able to go early yesterday. So I came on here early. So I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful birthday. I hope that you got everything your heart desires. It doesn't have to be materialistic things. It can just be mentally. No, mentally. I hope that you got all that your heart desires. Your heart, mind, body, and soul. Okay, I hope that you have reflected on things and you know who you were, who you are, and who you want to be, where you're trying to go. Right? That's all of us can only try to do and only try to be. The person better than we were yesterday, the day before, the years before, decades before in some cases, okay? It'll just be a better us. Hello, Miss Pride. That's right. I agree. We can never fix politics. Right, we can never fix politics because there's going to always be something someone disagrees with. What is weird to me is when people start saying, like, you know, calling people lazy. Some people are lazy. They are. Some people are lazy, okay? All right? They are. But some people are hardworking and dedicated to surviving, to their families surviving, doing all that they can for their families, right? Don't automatically assume that, say, for instance, the SNAP benefits, them not getting SNAP benefits, that's not just hurting people who are lazy, playing video games and don't want to work or can't keep a job because they don't know how to take constructive criticism. They don't know how to do what the boss tells them to do. That is hurting people who are working. Some of them two-parent households. There are some two-parent households who qualify for SNAPs. Why? Because they're making the federal minimum wage. So they're working their butts off every day, 32 to 40 hours a week at McDonald's, right? Now at McDonald's, you make a little bit more than minimum wage, but there are a lot of other restaurants that don't. They're paying you what they have to pay. $7.25 is still the minimum wage, the federal minimum wage. So $7.25, I'll just say $7 times 8. That's $56 a day. And you don't have to be somebody who's had a whole bunch of babies, like people like to stereotype that. You could be someone with one child, 2 kids. You're making $56 a day, right? How much is that? We're just going to say $50 a day because taxes got to come out of it. So what's that? $250 a week, $500 every 2 weeks, $1,000 a month, and your spouse is making about the same, maybe about $1,000 a month. $2,000. If you're going to get around in order to not be lazy and work like people say, right, you're probably going to have a car note of about $400. And then you might have, one of you guys may have a car that you went ahead and saved money or you paid for with your income taxes. This is how people survive. So stop calling people lazy. They're doing what they can. And it's not always people who chose not to go to college, because you have some college educated people who cannot get a well-paying job because people don't like to pay in this country. People don't like to pay you your worth. And if they do pay you, they usually pay a lot to the people who really don't really deserve it. Their friends, kids, you know, they're the ones who truly live off of the government, like a certain person's grown adult kids. You know, when it comes to the presidents, I feel like the only kids that should be like getting all the benefits that these grown kids are getting are minors, right? President Bush's daughters, President Clinton's daughter when he was in office, President Obama's kids when they were in office, President Jimmy Carter's kid. All these folks with these 40, 50-some-year-old kids, y'all ain't complaining about tax dollars and, you know, Secret Service being provided to them. So, yeah. We got a lot of people who don't have no empathy. They have no sympathy. No empathy, no sympathy. They're not complaining about the money going to Argentina, while kids, elderly, vets, and hardworking people are not getting their SNAP benefits. So if you make $2,000 a month in a two-parent household, daycare, let me tell y'all something. Daycare by the week is usually like $500, right? But I just say you get somebody who can keep your kids for you and take $500 in a month, $125 a week. Wouldn't that be like what, $125 a week? Yeah, about 4 weeks, $125 a week. That's $500 out of that $2,000. If one of you guys has a car that's paid for, you're able to find a car that you don't have to pay notes on, good. But you gotta have it. You need to have at least one good one, right? That car note and insurance, that's another $500. That leaves your family with $1,000, and you barely qualify to get $100 in SNAP benefits. But that $100 goes a long way when it comes to feeding your family. Because the other $1,000 that you have left, guess what you got to pay? Your utilities. Some people are talking right now that their power bill is like $500. So if you're that person, your family, your power bill is $500. Then you got the other insurance that you need, medical, and you got the other stuff. That other $500, you're in the red. At the end of each month, you're in the red because you got your daycare is 5, your utilities, your power bill may be 5, the way these things are going now, right? So your daycare is 5, your power utility is 5, your car note and insurance is 5. That leaves you with $500 to get the rest of your utilities paid, to feed your family, to pay your outside bills, because most families have at least 1 or 2 credit cards. They got to, in order to be able to survive. You know, you shouldn't get a whole bunch of credit cards, but sometimes you got to get things on credit. It's no different than when in the 1800s, when people were growing up and they would go to the town store and they would get something on credit, right? So they can't make it. And even some of those families, they're working their butts off. And you see, we just put them in the red right there. Daycare, 500. Nice car to drive for the family, 500. If you got a $500 power bill, then that just leaves you another 500 for the rest of the bills and groceries and gas. Okay? Now, if you can find somebody to kind of save $250 off that daycare, maybe find a family member. Okay? And that means you got to hope that that family member is able to do that every month, or somebody in the family is able to do that every month. So everybody on SNAP is not somebody who just doesn't want to work. Okay? It's not. So have empathy, have sympathy, and think about it as if you want to be treat people the way you want to be treated. And then you're talking about health insurance. That's not even included in the $2,000. And a lot of people have said that they've gotten notices that their health insurance will be going up $1,000. Who does that? Who does that? And so one single family, $1,000 is too much for a monthly premium. That's crazy work. Yeah, he wants to get rid of that with his old. Let me see. I'm going to read a couple of comments and get out of here so I can get to that gym. We can't fix politics. That's absolutely right, Robert. I did got a lot of phone calls. That's good. Got the day off. My mom told me this advice. You can't fix politics and let Trump get to you. Right. And that's how you try to. I think a lot, you can't let them get to you because a lot of times that is the way, that's the code that you try to live by. But then it gets annoying, Robert, because some of the things he's doing starts to affect people you know. Maybe even starts to affect you individually, personally. So there's comes to a point where you have to somewhat be concerned or pay attention to the things going on. Because if you don't, you might pop up and be like at the dentist, and the dentist be like, oh, you know your copay now is $100 every visit. Just something wild and crazy like that. So you have to kind of like we say over here, don't let bother people bother you. You kind of look at him as a person who bothers. You have to try your best to not let it bother you, but you have to still be aware of what's going on. But try your best to kind of keep it in check and to keep your stress level down, right? Like we say, we exercise over here, not just for the physical aspect, but for the physical, the mental, the spiritual, the emotional, all right? All of it, because it's all about the heart, mind, body, and soul. The heart, the mind, the body, and soul. So it's, as your mom is, that's exactly right. You kind of have to try to not let it get to you. Just be aware of what's going on. Because the things that he does is so evil. It's like when you start to focus on it and talk about it, you get just, ooh. And then you hear people say, oh, God is your this and God is your that. We know that, but God gives us as people common sense, you know? Has given instruction on how to treat your fellow man, or how to treat your brother, your sister. So we know he's got it, but God's also he's got his thumb on the pulse, you know? But when you're telling somebody who can't feed their kids that, they're looking at you like you're crazy. I'm going to always put all trust and faith in him first, always. But when you're telling people that and they're hungry, make sure that if you're telling them that you're trying to provide a little something to them too. Okay? Because he has given us discernment. He's given us the sense and the knowledge to be, if we truly want to be good people, our brothers and sisters' keeper. He's using the snaps, yeah, as a weapon. Right. Yeah. Because it's not going to stop here. Like that right now, he's there, he's telling them the Democrats are the reason you can't. No, the Democrats are holding tight to affordable health care. So at the end of the day, you're trying to take both because you want them to sign on to this mess and then talk about health care later, like you always do. You know, you remember he was supposed to repeal and replace. The replacement never came, but all the repeals kept coming. All the attempts to repeal kept coming, but the replacement never came. So now we're going into 12 years of him with that same BS. When was he elected? 16? Okay. 20, of course, thank God, it was left alone. Now it's 24. He's right back with that same mess 8, 9 years later. Still no replacement. That lets you know that he never intended to replace it. That was just bull talk for the people. Because he knows that people want their insurance. People need their insurance. And YouTube, that is not my music. I do not own the rights to that music, okay? It was just a lot of hogwash. Still has not come up with a replacement. He's such a smart and educated man. He's had so many smart, educated people working for him. That's because the people working for him are not for the people. They're only for themselves. Who the hell has a great Gatsby get together when people won't be able to get their SNAP benefits? Now, I'm not going to say what Bush did, Clinton did, Obama did, but they would never tearing down the White House and you having this unnecessary ball about some fictitious book, you know? And people out here trying to figure out what's going to happen with health care and their SNAP benefits. Because that's the thing. The Democrats aren't budging because they don't want people's health care taken away. He couldn't repeal Obamacare. He couldn't take it away. So he's going to take it away this way, making it unaffordable when it's supposed to be affordable. And it's already, there are already a lot of people who can't afford it. You know, depending on that scenario that I told you about with the working people. Some people are working, mom and dad are working, but they only make $7.50 an hour. So they're not lazy. They're doing hard work, hard labor, and they're barely making it. And they barely qualify for SNAP. They only get maybe $100, $150 or something. So stop stereotyping people. They act like people are getting rich. And my thing about it is, hell, there's always going to be somebody that abuse the system. But all those people that you can find right now who have abused the system, not one of them is filthy rich. Not one of them is wealthy. I promise you. I promise you. All those people that so-called, quote-unquote, abuse the system, none of them are filthy rich. None of them are wealthy. He abuses the system. Congress abuses the system. Our tax dollars are paying for their insurance right now, and they're parlaying on this long-term vacation doing nothing on vacation. But we, the people, with our tax dollars, pay their health insurance. And they're trying to take away health insurance. And they're holding the SNAP benefits as hostage. If you don't let us take away this insurance, we're going to keep holding on to these SNAP benefits. Courts have determined that that is not legal. And he's still, so what do you do when the courts have determined, we got 3, right? Judicial, executive, legislative branch. Legislative branch may as well be his branch because they ain't doing nothing. They just like him. They sorry. They want to see people down, out, and everything else. So you got the judicial branch. The judicial branch is doing their part. They have ruled that he cannot just withhold all people's SNAP benefits. Well, I just saw something before I got on here saying that he's being defiant. Defiant? How? Once a judge has spoken, that's it, even if you're the president. And the Supreme Court, they're so wishy-washy, they're just like him. There have been few times they have decided the right way as it relates to him. But they decided the wrong way when they gave him all this power. Let's see, Trump is about to turn orange on this midterm election. There will be first woman, first woman governor in New Jersey, Virginia, and a new Democratic mayor of New York. Exactly. And I'm so glad. Like, I saw all those people wrapped around the building in California, and some of them, you know what, Robert? It was like I was happy and I was mad at the same time, because it actually took him getting elected for them to realize. Some of them were in line, like almost in tears, saying they're trying to help save the democracy or whatever, right? And they admitted that they did not vote because they felt like neither choice was good. And then they were talking about, oh, how wrong they were and how much they regretted. So how wrong you were and how much you regretted. So I'm so happy that you have opened your eyes. I'm so happy that you finally saw that when a person shows you who they are, believe them. He showed us who he was the first time. And so a lot of you sat at home because you weren't satisfied with the choices. When it comes to running this country and things that will affect you as far as how you eat, your health care, how you live, how you work, where you work, there are so many unemployed African American women right now, more so than I don't know how long. There's never been so many unemployed African American women because he's shutting down things that allow them to work at, like Head Start. Certain daycares can't even sustain now because of certain funds that they were getting. Okay? So he's shutting all this stuff down. And he has the nerve to sit on TV and lie and says that the black unemployment rate is lower than ever when he's in office. Man, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. He probably could have rolled with that lie the last time he was in office. Nobody would have even bothered him because, you know, people's livelihoods weren't being taken away as much, their jobs and stuff like that. This particular time, don't even try. Just, he'll fix his mouth to lie about anything. The lady the other day asked him about the next presidential election. Will he support his vice president that he has right now or Marco Rubio or somebody? He could not even say who he'd support because he doesn't want them to be in office. He feels like he will be in office at 82, 83 years old. At 82, 83 years old, you should be trying to chill with your family. Being the president, even if you don't want to chill with your family, who wants to be on traveling across the world every time you turn around? If it's for fun, yeah, but you're supposed to be working. Who wants to be doing that? Let's see. Crypto Billy says, oh, a young lion. Let me see if I want to get into Crypto Billy's ass or not. Trump has no health care plan. No, he doesn't, but he's trying to dismantle, exactly. He's trying to dismantle Obama's legacy. He's trying to dismantle anything about history as it relates to black people. Obamacare or affordable, it works. And what was so funny, Robert, is that a lot of times when they were renewing back in, when he was trying to get rid of it, that next year to renew, you had a lot of people who looked like him and act like him that were already on it. But guess what? They didn't have enough common sense to know that the ACA was Obamacare, that it was the same thing. ACA was equivalent to Obamacare. You reap what you sow. Also, it's not about Trump. It's our president. It's the people. It's the people. He like everything is about him and his family. Like he's doing this country the same way his niece said that he did the family. Steal, 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 and steal. If you stayed at home, you didn't vote. Your ignorance voted for Trump. Right. But you didn't vote for... Exactly. And that's what they were saying. They didn't think either one of them was a good choice. Well, if you didn't vote, how ignorant does that sound? Even if neither one of them is a good choice, you staying at home helps the worst choice. So why help the person who's worse? Why help the bad? You know, if you think both of them are bad and you just don't want to participate in it, do your research and do the history and to know that 9 times out of 10, when you stay home, the person who is in office, that kind of hurts them. Not every time. That's why I say 9 times out of 10, that kind of hurts them. And she was not technically in office because she was, she was the vice president. So if you stay home, that hurts them most of the time, whoever is in office. But especially in this climate, right? I refuse to believe that there are more people in the United States who think the way this man thinks pre-1950s, 40s, and 50s and 60s. I know he has gotten to a lot of these young people into their minds because they have raised some of them to think that they are superior, to falsely think that they are superior. So they feel like jobs will be taken from them. They can't compete. Listen, affirmative action only helps so many minorities, okay? And a lot of times it would help them. There are situations where if you are a woman, you're a minority, right? You know that there are contracts that white women bid on because their husbands may not have had a good chance, or feel like they didn't have a good chance. So that the white wives bid on those contracts. And because they are a minority, i.e. woman, they get those contracts. That's their husband. So who in turn gets the contract? Okay, there were ways around affirmative action. Right now, a good example, we talk about sports sometimes. Look at the sportscasters on Saturdays or during the NFL games. On the field, you probably see 85% African American, 15% Caucasian. With the microphone in hand, a lot of time former athletes, but you see the reverse. So they need reverse affirmative action. Why? Why now? Because when you talk about the high-paying jobs where they're sitting around having brunch before the game and all this kind of stuff, if it's 10 at a table, there's going to be 1 or 2 melanated people. 8 to 10 non-melanated people. And I'm not going to even say non-melanated because they got color. Okay? They got color. So if you catch this replay, you might not like the conversation, but the truth is the truth. And common sense is common sense. You don't hold people's SNAP, EBT, food stamps, whatever you want to call it, benefits as hostage because you can't get the other party to stop fighting for people to keep their health care insurance. What do you don't want people to have insurance? I wonder why. So you starve babies, elderly, disabled, those who are hardworking, who deserve to get their EBT, their SNAP, their food stamps. You starve them because Democrats won't allow you to just take away health insurance from them as well and others. Them and others. Even Hillary Clinton stopped listening to the streets. Find out for yourself. Don't let people brainwash you. Yeah, not to vote. Voting matters. Your votes count. Trump is trying to rig it. And that's how you know that they count. Now, you may not always like the process. Like, I would much rather them go based on the popular vote instead of the electoral college vote. Because you know how that works. Certain populations and certain seats, the stuff that they're fighting over right now, when you made that little phone call down to Georgia, oh, can you find me these many votes? Or when you called over to Texas and want them to, redistrict and all that and try to get the minorities in the populations where their votes don't count, right? So we know that they count. But they count. You just got to make sure the right states are voting the right way. I know when you're in a red state, sometimes if you prefer blue, you feel like it doesn't count. Same thing in a blue state. If you're red, you feel like it doesn't count, but it counts. It matters. That's why they're doing this redistricting at a time when they shouldn't be doing it, because it matters. Now, would just counting the popular vote be easier? Yes, counting the popular vote would be a lot easier. But since we don't do that, he just wants to change the way we redistrict. Wants to change redistricting, when it happens, how it happens. Find ways to put people in a little bubble so that they only get so much when it comes to deciding who they send to Congress. So on that note, I'm going to get out of here, y'all, so I can get to this gym. And I wish you guys, y'all know what I wish you. I wish you peace, positivity, and prosperity. Because without peace, you see what we have. We have chaos. Without positivity, we have negativity. I don't want you to have the chaos and negativity. I want you to have peace and positivity so that you can prosper to your fullest potential, okay? And walk purposefully into your purpose, all right? Thank you, Robert. Thank you for joining me again. I'm glad that you had a wonderful birthday and wishing you many more. Wishing you many, many more. I'm wishing you guys a wonderful holiday season, whether you celebrate or not. Don't be a Debbie Downer. Okay, even if you don't celebrate, think of the reason for the season. Anyway, a lot of us have kids who it's not about the gift giving. They probably get gifts at work because people want to exchange gifts or something like that. Or you guys probably exchange at home. You don't have to go out and break the bank like when they were little kids, right? They probably buy you more gifts if you have kids. And those who have grandkids, treat those little grandbabies. It's just a time for fun. I think Jesus gets it, that we're celebrating. But I hope most of us truly know the reason for the season, right? So let people celebrate. I get so tired of the Debbie Downers. It's just like Halloween. Oh, I don't celebrate Halloween. Well, good. We didn't need to know that. It is one thing if you don't celebrate it, if it's a conversation that someone asks you, but the ones who are just saying it over and over and over and over, like they're trying to just be a Debbie Downer. Stop trying to rain on everybody else's parade. Whatever you think is all wicked about Halloween, when other people celebrate Halloween, that's the furthest thing from their mind. All they want to do is give the kids a time to dress up. That's it. That's all. A time to dress up and have a little party. Even the adults, they just want to go out and have fun. It's a holiday designated to Halloween, but it doesn't mean that they're wicked, okay? It doesn't mean that they're wicked. So y'all know what it is. Get you some rest, relaxation, okay? Release, relate, restore, resolve, replenish, reevaluate, reconnect, rebuild, reset, restart, restructure, refocus, right? And that four-letter word, SELF, is okay. Make sure that you have some self-love, self-motivation. Motivate yourself, okay? Self-determination, self-encouragement, all right? Self-control, self-respect, all right? All of that stuff. Self. It's okay to be selfish sometimes, okay? You gotta be selfish to take some time out for you sometimes. Take some time out for you, okay? So that you will be able to continue to take care of those kids, those parents, those nieces, those nephews, those students, your other family members, and of course your spouse, okay? Okay? Of course the kids, the parents, all of those I just named. Think about it. You got to take care of yourself. Get a little time for self. Be selfish sometimes so that you can continue to take care of them. I will see you guys on the next Let's Walk and Talk in Lines Pride. Bye, y'all. Oh, it doesn't want to end.